Hello, and I want to just show everyone this amazing Temur Landfall deck that I just made. It's so spicy. It's just insanely spicy. I didn't realize how good it was until I played it a few times. Basically, landfall. Okay, so we're starting off with 3 ruined crabs. This is mostly because combat damage is not exactly always going to win you games. Ruined crab, a backup. Lotus Cobra, Landfall, plus Landfall. When you go through this deck list, this card is basically like better than like any ramp card you could possibly think of. Because when you're comboing it with Nahiri's Lithomancy, Lithoforming, sorry. As you sacrifice X lands, draw X cards, and then play that many lands again, you're just basically making your mana back in like one turn. If you have more than one, you're gaining mana every single time you do this. Not to even mention like stuff like Roiling Rebirth and like Evolving Wilds and Fabled Passage. It's just very, very good for this deck, especially when you have more than one. Two Azuzas because Azusa, we end up with a lot of lands on the battlefield and not a lot in our hands. So it's only good for like the first few turns. So that's why I didn't have like a bunch of them in. Also, we have a Glasspool Mimic. Of course, there's that other side. There's also a land, which is always good. But it also can copy a Lotus Cobra to get the two Lotus Cobra thing where we can get like more mana than you actually pay for stuff. Squid Swarm, this is our main way to win. You play lands and then you get more, and then it just doubles and gets out of hand very quickly. And so basically, you just Nahiri's Lithoform a bunch of lands, and then you get a bunch of Scoot Swarms, and then you get a bunch of mana, and you can use all that over and over again because of this Ancient Green Warden. It says you can play lands from your graveyard, so basically, all these lands are just going to just keep coming in no matter what. Now, I do have some graveyard recursion in the sideboard just so I can bring back and here's this one for me if I'm playing against a control matchup, maybe. But like this card is basically the star of this deck. And Ancient Green Warden also doubles landfall, which is just good. That part's not even really needed. The 5/7 for 6 mana that just plays lands from your graveyard, that's fine. And they added a whole other line, which makes it broken for this deck. Next, moving on to these amazing pay 3 life lands. This basically they're going in because they're basically just a land and they can do something else late game, which is just good. The one that we usually play the most is the Turn Timber Symbiosis. The second most is usually this if we need removal in like a pinch, but like most of the time we don't need it. So you get Restoration is to play the least because blue we don't have as much, but in case, just good to have just an extra card draw. Now mainly for card draw, we're just playing Valakut. This card is, let me make it bigger because this looks a bit hard to read. Yeah, basically it says you play a land, you get a card off the top of your deck. If you don't play that, it's like a temporary thing where it gets exiled. Now, if you don't play it, you deal damage to them. But if you do play it, you can just get another card for free. It's very good for this deck because when you just do here's list one for me for like 3, you get 3 cards, 3 more lands, and like 3 more mana, and you can cast something out of them and then play 3 more lands from exile if they enter, which is pretty good. And then Evolving Wilds and Fabled Passages basically just do double landfall. That's they're just good. Over here we have Anti-Cognition. So this is just a counter spell because we have it, and I put this one in because if we're playing Rune Crab, we're most likely to get enough to get it, so you don't have to. You get the Scry as well, the graveyard thing. Return to Nature. This card just catch all artifact enchantment and exile that annoying Uro. Ooze, same thing, graveyard hate. It also gets a lot bigger later game. Basically, grindy matchups that I don't want to swing with a whole bunch of little tokens. Valakut Recovery, again, for control matchups. And some Valakut Awakening in case, like, say, they're not letting us play a lot of things and we want to cycle our hand really quickly. This is what we have this for. Another Valakut Expedition if we need more card draw and we're playing against a more grindy matchup. And there's a few cards. This deck's always a work in progress, but there's a few cards I was thinking about adding. Alicia Soul of the Wild. This card is okay. The only thing is that it's not as good as Ancient Green Warden. That's why I'm playing this and not this. And this is also legendary. Of course, I was thinking about playing Arrow because Arrow. I don't think it ramps and it gives you lands. It's just good. This Kali ambush, I was thinking about playing this for removal, but I already have enough, I think, so I'm not playing it. If it starts to get a little bit like I'm dying to like some annoying like little like veto or something, then I'll get rid of it. Um, this mammoth is just another landfall trigger. I took it out because it's mostly not needed. We have enough landfall as is. Tangled Philorhedron is, if you pronounce that right, Philorhedron. Yeah, that's weird. It's pretty good. I mean, it taps for mana and it can be a land, so it could be either or. The reason why it's not in is because we don't have a slot for it. I took this out and I basically took this card out and replaced it with Fabled Passages, which are obviously a lot better. Cleansing Wildfire is also good. It just cycles a land and you get a card. So you basically just get another landfall trigger and you get a card. This probably will replace Balagid Recovery because I don't think I'm going to use as much, but I still like it. And Bushfire Elemental, it's pretty good. It can't be blocked with creatures power 2 less. It's basically just an aggro. So say if I wanted to, I don't know, I would probably, if anything, drop maybe an Ancient Green Warden and 2 Azuzas for it. Just because if it's just a lot quicker than a lot of other cards, and it depends on how standard it's going to be. Because I don't know how it's going to be. It's probably going to be like super rush, like any old standard now. Like ever since like Oko, it's just been everything's quick. Teferi, everything's like 3 mana or 2 mana and stuff, and it just gets annoying. This deck can win turn 3, turn 4 if you just let it be. It should at least. I'll show you here. Let me just show you in action. I won't be using the sideboard because no one to play against. This is me playing against myself. Everything's a bit small. You can always look on the right if you have a question what the card does. So I'm just going to play like one hand just to see how it works. Okay, so I'm going to start by just getting a forest. Just to start this off. Where's the forest? There you are. Okay. And just shuffle your deck. Okay, untap draw. This is a slow hand. I shouldn't have taken it. Oh well, I just wanted to show. Untap draw. Land, 3 mana, Azusa, and then playing the other side of this Timberwood thing, 2 more lands. Untap draw. Hey, look at that, the Scoot Swarm. Play Scoot Swarm. And yeah, Evolving Wilds, I get an insect. Sacrifice the Evolving Wilds. And I'm going to get another mountain. Oh, in this deck, you want to grab 2 mountains just in case if you ever get any Harry's Lithoforming. You want to be able to cast that immediately. That's why it's in. Oh, look, I got another insect. Come to draw. See how Azusa's like not really doing much now. Now that it's did its thing once, it's just kind of done. I'm going to cast another Scoot Swarm because why not? Or I could do Ancient. Yeah, I'm going to play Ancient Green Warden. Now, this is when Azusa is good. When you have Ancient Green Warden and Azusa, now that's good. Because then you could go Evolving Wilds. Oops, I pushed a new game. Evolving Wilds, and then you could do Insect. That's pretty good. I'm just going to take a new hand because I just accidentally pushed a new game. This hand looks a little bit better. Do I not? I'm just going to keep taking until I get a Cobra in my hand. There we go. Okay, this is a lot better. So I'm going to start with Evolving Wilds, getting a mountain. Boop. Shuffle. This enters tapped. Untap draw for turn. Land. Cobra. Now, once you have your Cobra in, the game's basically yours. Untap draw. I land. I add 1 blue mana. Use the blue mana and 3 to cast a Glasspool Mystic, copying Lotus Cobra. Now I've got 2 Lotus Cobras. Sacrifice this for, I don't know, forest? Yeah, let's grab a forest. Forest. Put it into play. Not an island, a forest. Where's the forest? Oh, there it is. It's already in. Okay. Shuffle. I then add 2 more mana. I use the 2 mana to play Roiling Regrowth by tapping forest as well. And sacrifice a forest. I'm going to get 2 more lands, which adds 4 mana. Once you have 2 Lotus Cobras, you just end up with netting mana every single card you play instead of losing it. These do enter tap though, which is fine because we're getting advantage. Another Cobra, 2 mana floating, and just get my next turn. Untap draw. I like a Ruined Crab, a little bit late, but okay. Cast a Scoot Swarm. and then I'm going to play this other side. I'm not going to play through life, there's no point. And I get 3 mana to do nothing with it, and I get to mill him for 3. Next turn, to draw. Fabled Passage, use it. Just get a bunch of things. And this is basically where you would just get a bunch of Scoot Swarms, because now you have 1. Do this. Yeah, I'm just going to use this counter. So you have 1, 2 Scoot Swarms. You crack the Fabled Passage, you get 4. And then, add, let me get that land. Forest. Shuffle. To draw. And then look, another land. I don't know how many lands this deck's playing, but it's playing a lot of lands. I should count them up. Because, like, I didn't count the double-sided cards. Oopsies. Yeah. It's pretty good. Let me go back to the deck list. Now, this deck, lands are obviously a big deal. That's why I'm playing so many double-sided cards that add lands. Like, hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. 34 lands, but all my cards are never going to be dead cards. That's what I love about these double-sided cards, of course. Yeah, and that's about it. I mean, there's a few things that probably need to be refined, but if you guys have any suggestions, just I'll put the link in the description, and all you have to do is just click on it and then just make a copy of it and then change it, because it was pretty good, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to be like an actual good deck. It's pretty good, but just not that good. Well, anyway, that's it.